What's up, everybody? Let's talk about what's going on with the stock market. This is Sunday night. Now, we know, of course, this is Labor Day weekend, so the futures market is really the only thing open. I think Forex might be open too. No, I'm not really sure what the Forex hours are, but the futures market is open Sunday night. They're going to close tomorrow, which is Labor Day, at noon, Central Standard Time, and they reopen at 5. So they're really only closed for 5 hours, which is really, really nice. So for the rest of the markets, almost all of them are closed, but the futures market is open, which I really like that. Let's look at the top left-hand corner, September 5th. This is 10 o'clock at night. You see this is the E-mini S&P 500. And kind of in the upper right-hand corner, you see that where it says the all-time high, 49.50. Look at those 5 candlesticks, guys. I mean, 4 little red dojis. Well, okay, fair enough to say today's candlestick is just getting started, so not really sure what's going to happen with that yet. But, at least at the moment, 4 red dojis and 1 little tiny green candlestick there. This is looking like, this thing running out of gas, right? It's not to say it couldn't go up a little bit more. It could. You know how the stock market is with the manipulators and the same old players manipulating the markets. We won't get into that again. Same old boring story there. But look down below into the Stochastic Momentum Index. That baby's starting to roll over, guys and gals. That thing is starting to get some legs, and I think we're due for potentially some downward pricing and a little bit of a downward trend. We'll see what happens. Today's only September 5th, so we're a little ways off until we get towards the end of this cycle, which I'll put on the screenshot here. I haven't done it yet, but I'll do it. It's still September 20th approximately. So we're a little bit ways off from that still. So the fact that this pricing is looking this weak, halfway into this trend or halfway into this cycle, if you take that green arc there at the top, just below the candlesticks, the halfway point would be right at the top of the arc. And I'll even put that in there before I put out the video. But, the midway point, that yellow vertical line, right, intersecting the green arc, I mean, the pricing is so weak, really weak. I mean, normally this would be pushing up, okay? If you look back, it's not that it hasn't happened before. The previous cycle was kind of weak too, but not this deep into the cycle it wasn't, okay? It was weak kind of the first half, and by the time it got to the halfway point, it started gaining strength. That hasn't happened with this cycle. The cycle before that one, 2 cycles ago, that thing was a monster cycle. It just pushed right on through. And there's a reason why I did that, but I'm going to save that for another day. I'm going to save that one. That's a little gem for why that happens sometimes. Okay? Excuse me. So we can see the Stochastic Momentum Index with the circle there is definitely beginning to roll over. So feeling kind of good. I have on the micro S&P 500, I have 7 contracts right now. So a little aggressive. I'm a little aggressive, but the pricing has kind of moved a little bit in my favor since when I took the position. So we'll see what happens. I think, hopefully, it's going to move down more, and we'll pick up a nice little profitability. For now, those positions are still open. As soon as I close them, as always, guys and gals, I always will share those results with you, the PL, profit loss. Looking down at the Big Daddy forecast, of course, it's pointing down. I mean, it's telling the story, right? It's telling us get ready for more down action. And the VIX is, just flatline, just sitting down there at 1641. And at the very bottom, the Dow Jones Transportation, this divergence has continued so long now that on the far left, back on May 10th, the line is starting to disappear, the red line. And, this divergence just keeps getting longer and longer and, growing more and more. And the separation, or I guess the significance or magnitude of the divergence between the S&P 500 and the Dow Jones Transportation just continues to widen, okay? And you all know my story on that one, the Dow theory. If you haven't looked it up, you can go look it up, just favorite search engine, okay? I like DuckDuckGo. I try to stay away from Google search engine, but whatever works for you, search it. And you're going to look at the Dow theory. And part of the Dow theory, one of the aspects of Dow theory is this divergence what we're looking at now? And you can read up on that and dive into Dow theory and all that stuff. And the Dow theory divergence, maybe you can type that in, look that up. Very interesting history behind it. And as I've already mentioned before, I looked at the last 35 years. I think it was on the monthly chart at the divergences that have occurred, and this is the largest one ever, which makes sense because the price of the S&P 500 has absolutely taken off in the last year or two, and it makes sense that this elevated prices you would have a massive divergence, right? So I'm feeling pretty good, about the S&P 500, and we'll see what happens as we get closer to the end of that cycle on September 20th. I think we're going to see some downward pricing here. I'm short 7 contracts. I'm hoping I don't have to cut them loose. So far, I have no reason to. I'm running just a kind of a really small loss right now. So I think things are good. Let's take a look at one other thing I want to show you guys is the 6E, which is the euro dollar futures, or just the euro currency futures. This thing is looking really tasty. Okay, I don't know what's going to happen because the euro dollar has been pretty strong, as you can see. This is the 6E. I trade the M6E. I've talked about this before, but on the right side of this screen, with the circle near the kind of the upper right there, you can see we had that almost doji looking candlestick on Friday, and we've so far today, anyway, Sunday night, we got a red candlestick. Now there's a lot of strength in this euro, so it could continue on. Okay, you notice I probably should have put a red line, but you notice I got a horizontal yellow line across the screen at the top of that circle, and I'm watching that line very carefully because if the pricing breaks above that line, I'll probably have to cut this loose. I don't remember how many contracts I have on this, but I have a few contracts on this, and if it gets above that, unfortunately, I'll have to cut it loose because that would mean the strength is really good, and it's breaking through resistance, which you can see is back there. Like, let's see, when was this resistance? That resistance is all the way back, like, I don't know, August 3rd-ish kind of date. Maybe August 1st, August 2nd, somewhere around there. Okay. Looking down at the momentum, it hasn't quite crossed over yet, so that's why I'm cautious, because a lot of times pricing will move right up to this kind of thing where the momentum's really high, look like it's going to cross over and then not cross over. So we'll have to wait and see what happens here. But I'm hoping we get a good crossover, and we'll see what happens. The end of this cycle looks like it's a little bit further out than the S&P 500. It's kind of looking like the beginning of October. So there's still quite a bit of time left in this cycle. So we'll see how that goes. The Big Daddy forecast is showing that pricing will come down. Okay. What's really got my attention is at the very bottom, the EVZ. That is the volatility for the 6E euro dollar currency. It's kind of like the VIX, but it's the VIX for the euro dollar rather than the S&P 500. Okay. So anyway, this is the volatility for this particular symbol. And I noticed it's at 5. You look at the lower right-hand corner there, 5.07. That's really low, okay? And that's a good sign. And when you get really, remember, I don't know if for those who didn't watch my Friday video, watch it. And in there I talk about how to trade the stock market using predictability, right, or prediction. How do you use predictability or prediction to or future forecasting algorithms and so on and so forth. And we really just kind of leaned into the VIX on that video. So go back and watch it. It's really good. Okay. And it helps you to forecast how to trade. Okay. But if you watch, if you watch this and go back and watch it, what I'm about to tell you kind of makes sense. We're seeing a dip right here in the 6E, like a really strong dip. Okay. And sometimes out of these strong dips, okay, like that, that's when you'll get a real strong move in volatility going up. So you'll get the big hard dip down, and then the next day or two, it'll spike up, and you'll get volatility. And for most of you know this, but for those that don't, when you get volatility, price comes down, right? Volatility goes up, pricing comes down. Okay, when volatility goes down, the pricing goes up. So the volatility went way down. Well, that makes sense because we just had this. Look at the green doji, right? A little very peaky green doji, almost like the peak of a house, like a steeple, right? you got the same thing back there on August 1st. If you go all the way back to August 1st, I'll even put a circle on that as well, where you got this peak in the top of a trend. And you can see, let's see here. If you look back, yeah, you had a drop off in the VIX. The VIX worked its way down from like, all the way from whatever, July 23rd or whatever it was, all the way down to like August 1st, right? Pricing was going up, and I'm calling it the VIX. I really mean to say the EVZ. And the EVZ was coming down. The volatility on the Eurodollar was coming down. Okay. So that's kind of how I view what's going on right now. Volatility took a big, hard drop. That's a nice. We like seeing that. That's not always, but a lot of times is a setup for a good trade. So we'll see how this works out, okay? So when you get done, like I said, when you get done watching this video, go back to Friday's video. And like I said, the link will be in the description. Go back and watch it because it talks about how we can start predicting and forecasting a trade using volatility, okay? Yeah, so this is looking like a good trade. I do have a position on this on the short side. Admittedly, I got in a little early. Okay, yes, even I get anxious sometimes and make a little stupid mistakes, and I should have waited for a little more confirmation. There's that word again. But I got in a little early, and next time, you know how it is, guys. You just keep improving, keep improving. I'm the same as everybody out there. Yes, I have a lot of profitable trades, but even profitable traders can keep chipping away and get better and better at what they're doing. So, I'm in it too, guys. I'm learning and growing and becoming better and better trader. Certainly a lot better than I used to be. Okay, so that's about all I got for tonight. Quick video because Sunday night. If you enjoyed the video, guys, give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Don't forget to click that little bell so you get notified of all the videos that I put them out. We'll talk to you all real soon. Again, next time.